For the second time in less than 300 days, the Tampa Bay Lightning are the Stanley Cup champions. I'm Steve Dangle, and this is Cup Check. We're not going to do a blazing amount of jump cuts for this one because the story was pretty simple. We head to Game 5, and there is tension in the air, not just because the Stanley Cup is in the building, but also the words of the mayor of Tampa. Hey, why don't you take it easy on the Montreal Canadiens in Game 4, and then you can win it at home? Well, be careful what you wish for, because Montreal, killing off a penalty late in the third period of Game 4, early for the first 3 minutes of overtime. They win it in overtime at home, forcing Game 5. I don't need to tell you what happens if Montreal finds a way to steal one in Tampa and bring it back to Montreal. The Lightning would be in deep, deep trouble if you are a believer in magic. But unfortunately for the Montreal Canadiens, unlike the team that I cheer for, the Tampa Bay Lightning are closers. For the second straight series, they pull off a 1-0 shutout victory to close it out, and for the second straight season, they get a shutout in the Stanley Cup clinching game. It's not just they, it is a team effort, but Andrei Vasilevskiy is truly writing a spectacular story in his hockey career. That guy's going to end up in the Hockey Hall of Fame one day. I've been saying it because it's true. But for everything with the Tampa Bay Lightning, Andrei Vasilevskiy, one of the best goalies in the league, one of the highest paid goalies in the league. Victor Hedman, one of the best defensemen in the league, one of the highest paid defensemen in the league, and the reigning Conn Smythe winner. Braden Point, Steven Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov, and all the cap shenanigans that go with it. And the Stanley Cup winning goal was scored by Ross Colton, a guy who scored his 13th NHL goal between the regular season and playoffs because he's a rookie. That's who won it. Anybody can win it. Who doesn't love hockey? For as great as Montreal's defense has been all Stanley Cup playoffs long, for as great as Carey Price has been all Stanley Cup playoffs long, all it took was one little glimmer of light. I'm not even going to call it mistake, because every team is going to make mistakes. Every team is going to give up opportunities. But Tampa did such a good job of capitalizing on everything the Montreal Canadiens gave them. They are winners. That's why they won back to back. And the story is spectacular. They win it in 2020 after so many kicks at the can, after going to the Stanley Cup final in 2015. So many of the guys that were on that team stayed on that team. 2019, we're going to win it in a walk. And guess what? You get swept in the first round by the Blue Jackets in humiliating fashion. Then, well, yada, yada, yada. A variety of things happen. We end up in a bubble. No one's there. No fans in attendance. And you get an opportunity to slay your dragon, to exercise your demons, to take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. And it's a quintuple overtime to start it, but you pull off the win with a goal from Braden Point. You ride that all the way to the Stanley Cup. But there's something missing. There's no asterisk on the cup. You earned it. But something's not right. Not only are there no fans in the building, but also no friends, no family. Your captain only gets to play 5 shifts. If you're the Tampa Bay Lightning, you're happy you won that cup. You look back fondly on that cup. But you'd like a redo. You'd like a mulligan. You'd like a chance to do it again. And 10 months later, September 28th is when they won the 2020 Cup. July 7th, less than a year later, they get an opportunity to do it again in front of a packed barn. Even though they missed a chance to win it in Game 4, it means something to win it in front of a packed building in Tampa. Stamkos there for the entire ride. Oh, it's too perfect. It's just too perfect. I cannot imagine how the Tampa Bay Lightning feel today. Literally, I cheer for the Leafs. The Montreal Canadiens should feel nothing but pride. Nothing but pride for the way that they played throughout these Stanley Cup playoffs. They were hardworking. They were responsible. They found performances from everybody. So many guys were playing hurt. Gallagher wasn't at 100%. Shea Weber wasn't at 100%. Carey Price, after a mediocre regular season and having to recover from an injury, was Carey Price. Carey Price is always Carey Price when the Montreal Canadiens need him to be the most Carey Priciest. And that's what he was in these Stanley Cup playoffs. So many young performances, so many old performances. It's just such a great story that this 18th place team We keep bringing up that number. But they did literally finish bottom half of the league in the regular season, stormed all the way to the final 2 and within 3 wins of the Stanley Cup. So many questions this offseason. What kind of a contract is Philip Deneau going to get if he's brought back at all? What about a few older guys? Corey Perry, Eric Stahl, will they come back? What kind of role will the younger players have on this team? What will a full season of Cole Caulfield look like? How does Jesperi Kotkaniemi become such a key part of the Montreal Canadiens when he can't even get into an elimination game there in Game 5? How about Romanov, who was instrumental in getting this to a 5th game, but had a hard time getting into the lineup during the entire Stanley Cup playoffs? What happens with Jonathan Drouin? I hope everything is well on that front, but today is not the day for those questions. I think you take some time. It's gonna hurt. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know this pain, Habs fans. I don't know what it's like for my team to get this far and fail. Usually they do the failing a lot earlier, as you saw earlier in the playoffs. And speaking of which, talk about a team with absolutely no quit. Part of the reason why the Habs winning Game 4 made me go, uh-oh, this could actually be a series, despite the fact that it's only happened once ever in Stanley Cup history. They erased a 3-1 deficit on the Toronto Maple Leafs like it was nothing. Yes, there were 2 overtime games in there, but the early parts of those games, the Game 5, 3-0 lead, Game 6, 2-0 lead, and just kicking the Leafs up and down the ice leading up to those 2 goals in Game 6. This team doesn't quit. This team plays its best when the moment calls for it. They're a great team and an easy team to cheer for. Now, for this Cup Check video, I want to take a bunch of your questions because it's the end of the season and you deserve to have them answered. Here's a question from J. Actual Baruchel. Yes, like actually J. Baruchel. Why is there a salary cap? Now, I am not just answering that question because it's Jay Baruchel. It's a great question because a lot of Habs fans, a lot of fans around the entire league are asking that. Tampa Bay was significantly over the cap using LTIR and all that stuff. Now, for any Tampa Bay Lightning fans who are watching this right now and are about to get defensive, I get it. Because this is not a Tampa Bay Lightning specific problem. The Lightning this season merely exploited little loopholes, not even little loopholes, they merely used the rules with the salary cap that other teams have used in the past. Other teams have used this season. The Leafs acquired Riley Nash from the Columbus Blue Jackets with the idea that, yeah, he could be a useful playoff performer for them, but also they get to put him on LTIR before the playoffs. They can use that space to go over the cap and maybe get Frederik Andersen into 1 regular season game. The amount of cap shenanigans that went on in Toronto just to get Andersen into 1 regular season game before the playoffs, in which he never even played. Oh, it was unbelievable. But dude, how many trades have there been? David Clarkson getting traded after he was never going to play another NHL game. Nathan Horton getting traded after he was never going to play another NHL game. Stefan Robida and Robida Island. The Joffrey Lupul saga. Marian Hossa's deal getting traded. Mark Savard's deal getting traded. Chris Pronger's deal getting traded. The list goes on and on and on. Marian Gaborik being acquired by the Tampa Bay Lightning, and this seems to never get brought up. It's always Kucherov. The Lightning acquired Marian Gaborik. Marian Gaborik is on the Lightning right now. Never played a game for them. Was never going to because it's all LTIR. We need to stop trading guys who are never going to play again for the benefit of LTIR. Like, there's something wrong with that. That doesn't make any sense. There's something to it if one of your guys gets hurt. If one of your guys needs surgery, like Kucherov does, to me, that is far less nefarious. Like, one of your guys got hurt and you're using the benefit to the cap of one of the players you already have getting hurt. That, to me, is less nefarious than acquiring a player like Marian Gaborik with no intention of ever playing them. Right? That's a messed up system. And it's not just the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's Julien Brisebois doing his job. The NHL, to me, needs to address this. Because the Tampa Bay Lightning, forget going over the cap. The whole point of the cap is to prevent teams from spending an ungodly amount of money. And the Lightning spent, I don't know what the final number was, but it was in the neighborhood of $100 million when the salary cap is at 81.5. that can't sustain. What if everybody does this? Is my question. Okay? 1 or 2 teams do it, maybe even half a dozen. What if everybody does this? If everybody does this, there's no point to the salary cap. And if you were an NHL general manager and you are in the business of winning NHL games and you're not doing this, I have to question how well you're doing your job. Julien Brisebois is not the bad guy here. The Lightning are not the bad guys here. They are merely using the parameters that the NHL has given them to try to win games, to try to win Stanley Cups. And look at this, they won 2. They won 2. Kucherov was legitimately hurt. He needed his surgery. Now there's some question marks about why didn't he get a surgery right away after the Lightning win on September 28th, and he ended up getting a surgery in December. I think there are some more complexities and nuances there. I mean, not everyone who needs surgery gets it absolutely right away. They maybe try some other things first, yada, yada, yada. Not to mention, we did not know when the season was going to begin. I think we forget we've been at a panini the whole time. But I'm getting away from it. The Lightning only exploited the rules that the NHL has laid out for them. And the NHL has these rules for a reason. This league cannot operate. This league cannot survive. We had a lockout over this. This league cannot survive without a salary cap. This league will perish. It will go into financial peril without a salary cap. And teams are able to spend above using shenaniganery beyond a player getting hurt and getting LTIR relief there. They're able to acquire players who are never going to play again. And to me, that makes no sense. I think some changes have to be made. But this, for Tampa, is a legitimate cup. Your problem should be with the league, not the Lightning. Who should go after Patrick Maroon since he clearly has the golden touch? Yeah, Maroon's got back-to-back-to-back cups. He won in 2019 with the Blues and both cups with the Lightning. Who should go after Patrick Maroon? Well, seeing as the Lightning are probably going to lose a bunch of expensive players this offseason between Seattle and trades because they absolutely have to, the Lightning, they could use a cheap player. Although, I don't know. Back-to-back-to-back cups. I gotta wonder if Patrick Maroon is gonna chase the bag this offseason. But I don't know if the bag's there. I don't know if the bag's there, man. The cap's not going up. You might as well stay where you think you're gonna win. But losing a bunch of players this offseason, is Tampa going to stay that place? I got to imagine they're still going to be pretty good. From Emily, Patrick Maroon, hat trick of Cups, WTF. Yeah, that makes it even more amazing. Hat trick of Cups. I never even thought of that. That's wild. Now, without highlighting a tweet from anybody in particular, there were some questions about Nikita Kucherov and his comments after the game, talking about Montreal Canadiens fans and I mean, Nikita Kucherov talked about a bunch of things. He talked about Canadiens fans acting like they won the cup after they won Game 4. I think what he was referring to was like some of the like car flipping and stuff. But also like kind of talking smack about like Marc-Andre Fleury. But I think he was just doing that to gas up his teammate, Andrei Vasilevsky. He was just trying to say he was good. As for the other stuff with Habs fans, I don't know. Kucherov shouldn't have said it. It wasn't the classiest thing in the world. But now, as some people have pointed out, there's a villain here. There's a built-in villain. And I mean, listen, a lot of you, I'm sure, had to talk yourselves into liking Corey Perry when he signed there. And I'll be the first to admit, if Corey Perry signs with my team, which I would love him to do, I will talk myself into liking him too. But that guy has never been the cleanest player. Nikita Kucherov getting on the mic and saying what he did about Habs fans, about several people. He was on one. He was having a good time. He was feeling himself. I mean, the guy wasn't even wearing a shirt. I don't think it's the nicest thing that he said. And Habs fans are better than the way he described them, right? You shouldn't, your entire fan base shouldn't be beholden to like a dozen idiots. But now you have a villain, and you're going to boo the hell out of him every time he comes to that building. That's a great thing, because now he's got to deal with you for the rest of his career. From Jonah, do we see a blank game with Steve Dangle next season? That was super entertaining in these playoffs. Yeah, so we just wrapped our 17th stream between watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle in the first round, watch a Habs game with Steve Dangle in the third round, and watch the Stanley Cup Final with Steve Dangle in the Stanley Cup Final. 17 streams, 3 hours each, about 51 hours streaming over these playoffs, and they were a huge success. A lot of our streams, we had at least 30,000 concurrent viewers. A few of them are over 40,000. Last night was over 50,000, which I think is at least the second time that we did that in these playoffs. These things are not a success without people. These things are not a success without the participation, not just the viewership, but the participation. You guys asking funny and engaging and intriguing and thought-provoking questions in the chat. I think we're on to something really special here. I don't know what it looks like. I can tell you that Sportsnet, we're discussing doing it for next regular season at very least, and I assume it'll be back in the playoffs as well. I don't know what form it's going to take. I don't know if it'll be Leafs-centric, if it'll be other teams. I'm certainly open to both. But you guys have been asking for this for a long time. And things are often tried out. Hey, people have been asking for this, and we try it, and people don't get on board with it. And we're like, people asked for this. Why didn't they get on board with it? And we end up disappointed. This was not one of those occasions. We tried it. You guys responded in droves. Some new fans were brought in. I was amazed at how kind and accepting Montreal Canadiens fans were, how accepting you were of this Leafs fan talking about your team for hours on end. I was so encouraged, and after really having the fandom just taken out of my soul after the first round, you all really helped pick me up and got me motivated. I cannot wait to do these streams again next year. I don't know what form it's going to take. What's it been like doing LFR/Cup Check while being a new father? I just feel like I've been in this room the whole time. I feel like I've been in this blue room the entire time. And I get to go upstairs, and my son's there. And that's been cool. I would like to leave the house. We're starting to be able to leave the house more, unless it's pouring rain like it is today. It's been something. Like, I started to get emotional last night in the stream because they showed the images of the Lightning winning the cup in the bubble at the end of September 2020. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, Leo was still practically a newborn. We hadn't even sleep trained him yet. And now this kid's walking. Like, he's walking. He takes like 8-9 steps at a time. He's terrorizing the dog. Iggy's right here. He's terrorizing Iggy. This poor guy. My wife's a superhero. Leo's got the best mom in the world. She's been doing a lot of the work while I've been down here, making videos and doing streams and doing podcasts and doing everything. I'm going to do another video today after this one. We're going to do the final hat picks of the season. I don't know. But I don't know if I'm a new dad anymore. You know, Leo's over a year old. I'm glad I get to have a busy July. I'm going to make a ton of videos. And then I'm going to have time off in August. But the problem with that is I'm going to have time to process everything that's happened over the last year and a half. And I don't want to be alone with those thoughts, actually. And I would end this video with an emotional goodbye if I was going anywhere. I'm not. I'm going to be shooting the last hat picks of the season. We had a new podcast yesterday. We'll have a new one tomorrow. We're going to get a ton of transaction news coming. We have an expansion draft coming in just a couple weeks. Like 2 days after that's done, we're going to have a 2-day draft. And oh my goodness, if day 2 of the draft is anything like day 2 of the draft in 2020, it's going to be an all-day event, not just a few hours. Then free agency opens up on July 28th. I'm sure that's going to be go for a few days. And then, unless there's a big move or something in August, you ain't going to see me. You will see me in trade tree videos, but I'm going to shoot 10. I'm going to shoot 10 over the next few weeks, and we're going to bank them, and we're going to upload them over the next little bit while I chill. I'm going to chill. You know what I'm going to do? Nothing. It's going to be awesome. And then when I want to do something, I'll do that too. But I'm not going to work. Listen, I love this gig. I love this gig. But the last year and a half, there's been no break. I'm tired. So, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell your friends. Why are you wearing a rain jacket? That's my wife. I'm gonna go talk to my wife.